Alright everyone, it's been a while, but yes, I am back once again with another edition of Where's the Deals, the series where I go on the Facebook Marketplace, usually, in search for good, bad, and yes, even incredibly ridiculous video game listings. And you know what? I'm not gonna sugarcoat things here, there's a lot of really bad ones this time around. And without further dragging this intro on any longer than it needs to, let's get the ball rolling here with the first listing, and that is 13 PS4 games for $100. And at first glance, yeah, there's quite a few games here that are on the cheaper end of things, like Killzone Shadow Fall, Advanced Warfare, Need for Speed, and of course, sports titles depreciate faster than a brand new car rolling off the lot. That being said, there's some interesting stuff here. Little Nightmares is a horribly underrated game that is worth about $25, and then you got the highly praised Red Dead 2 and Dishonored, which are worth around $18 to $12 respectively. It's a decent bundle for anyone just getting into PS4 games, that's for sure. Are you saving money on this listing? Yes. Is it worth spending $100 on? That would really depend on if you care about the games included here. I think if it were me, I would offer $80 for everything because, quite honestly, I couldn't care less for about 6 of the games in this lot. Regardless, it's not a bad listing whatsoever. $2 a piece or 10 for everything. So interesting, because half the games here are worth more than $10 each by themselves. Case in point, that TMNT game is worth around $15 to $20, and Destroy All Humans is a $12 game, and believe it or not, Tony Hawk's Underground, at least the original one, actually has some decent value at being worth around $15. You'd be crazy not to grab everything here. Even if you don't want some of the other games in this bunch, you can easily sell them to make your money back and then some. $120 for a Super Nintendo that doesn't produce sound and 5 games. I'm confused by this one here because the system doesn't fully work, it doesn't appear that he's including any controllers or cords, at least that I can see, and the games included aren't even somewhat valuable. Where exactly is this $120 price tag coming from? Like, I get it, he put or best offer, but it's still $120. I honestly wouldn't pay more than $40, if not $50 for this. I'm gonna have to take apart the damn thing and fix what's wrong with it on top of buying the cords and controllers. Why would I want to deal with that when I could just buy a working console with cords, controllers, all that stuff, and a few games elsewhere for cheaper or even around the same price? That's just silly to me. And speaking of silly, here's a bunch of sports games and Dance Dance Revolution. The guy wants $9 each. Okay, I mean, yes, there's plenty of sports games out there that hold value, and some of them are very rare, or even worth over $100. These games are not valuable by any sense of the word, nor are they even uncommon to come across. You can find them at most game stores for under $5 all day long. And keeping on the trend of high, outrageous prices is this Wii listing here. 21 games. Apparently prices start at $5, but he doesn't even include what games he wants more for. Or, better yet, what you can do is buy all of them for the odd price of $257 for Wii games. Common Wii games at that. Now, let's just say none of these have been sold, right? 21 games means that if you were to do the math here, he's valuing these games at being worth around $12 each. Why? It's like I almost want to get into the minds of these people who make these listings. $257, and it's not even including a system with controllers or anything. Hell, even if it did, it wouldn't even be worth close to what he's asking. Hell, you can include 3 of the fucking systems, and it still wouldn't even be close to being worth $257. $180 for this Nintendo 64 bundle, and I've said this before, the value of retro game consoles, especially since COVID first hit, has significantly increased as of late. A few years back, these Nintendo systems you could find anywhere for around $45, maybe $60, and now they've gone as high as $120 depending on what's included and of course the condition. $180 here isn't even all that bad once you consider the games included. Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, and Diddy Kong Racing together are worth around $80 if not more. The rest of the games included are pretty great too. I really like Sarge's Heroes, Turok, there's Star Wars, and a couple of the other games included aren't really all that bad. I would value this entire bundle here being worth around $250. So this seller wanting $180, you're getting a good deal all things considered. This is possibly one of the worst, if not the worst, listings I've come across in a while, especially when you read the details. Okay, so 61 PS2 games. He wants $500 for everything and apparently is firm on the price, stating on the bottom here in a incredibly douchey, condescending way, and I can only say it in this voice. For the special people that feel the need to message me to tell me what you think my games are worth, go tell your mom or GameStop, someone who might care. Right. So you don't think that people, obviously multiple people at that from what I gather, are questioning your price here, which mind you is as much as a brand new PS5, as much as a halfway decent 4K TV, or even as much as some people's mortgages or rents for only 61 PS2 games. You don't think they're questioning your price because, oh, well, I don't know, it's fucking insane? Let's be realistic. You have very few games here that are even worth more than $10 on a good day. In fact, most of these titles are incredibly common and can be found anywhere for under $5. Dark Cloud, I believe, is the most valuable game in the bunch here, and I love that game all things considered, but by no means does that make up for all the cheap shit here. Not only would I never pay even $200 for this listing, not only have I found significantly better listings during this video series for much cheaper, but in most of those better PS2 bundles, they came with the system, the cords, controllers, everything. So what makes this listing worth $500? Nothing. Nothing at all. It doesn't even come close. Whatever though, if someone is stupid enough to pay $500 for this, then I don't know, God bless them or something. Ultimately, they're being ripped off in the end, and the seller absolutely knows what he's doing. Also, people, if you list stuff on Facebook Marketplace, or really anywhere for that matter, don't be a condescending dickhead or an asshole in your details. It hurts you way more than it helps. Stop doing that. It's not hard to be nice. It's not hard to be friendly. If it is for you, then sorry, not sorry, but you have problems. Anyway, enough of that long-winded rant and on to something actually quite nice. It's a listing of 6 complete PS1 games, and it goes without saying, there's some pretty great stuff here. All of the games here, with the exception of Big Race USA Pinball, are worth more than $10. Some even worth more than $20 to $25, of course, depending on the condition. It's still an amazing bundle, and it's pretty clear the seller has no idea what game she has. Ape Escape was the very first PS1 game I ever played, and I remember getting it for Christmas way back when the system first came out, and I absolutely love that game. I still wish I owned it, but whatever. It's not easy to come across in the wild these days because of how sought after it is. Anyway, this listing is amazing. And for $10, I mean, come on, why would you not buy this? $5 a piece for these 360 games in this listing here. Doesn't make any mention of what he wants for everything, and that's totally fine. The games he has here, some of them I absolutely would snag for the price of $5, like that limited edition Halo 4 and the Ultimate Alliance games. You see, $5 is one of those prices where you really kind of have to know what you're buying, because you could either underpay for something or overpay. In the case of those Guitar Heroes and a few of the other games on this listing, I constantly find them at used game stores, garage sales, hell, even Goodwills for under a couple bucks. This next and final listing is for a large stack of PS4 games at $10 a pop, and You know what? There's some pretty great stuff here. Call of Cthulhu, Chaos Bane, Shadow Tactics, Jump Force, and Greedfall, for example, are worth more than $10. There's really not a lot of bad games in this bunch, or even games that are overpriced. Yeah, okay, Infamous, Second Son, Homefront, Titanfall 2, and a few others are worth less than $10. Even then, this listing is surprising, if not simply due to the fact that a lot of these games are much harder to come across, at least for me in my town. I would definitely see if the seller would take less if I were to grab like 5 or 6 off of them. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today. Typically I try to avoid having an overly excessive amount of bad listings, but you know, it was hard to come across even good ones this time around. I don't know if it has anything to do with COVID really, and I think I mentioned this in either the last or the second to last episode in the series, but people have been pricing their shit so weird lately. You either come across amazing deals that are almost too good to be true, or listings that make you question if the seller's on hard drugs. Like, I get it. Some people are hard up for money, and you know the unemployment rate is skyrocketing. No thanks to the government, but regardless. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and as I always say, take care, and I hope to see you next time.